Welcome back to another take from We Killin' It.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Matt.
Kindy.
Before we go in today's episode, I just wanted to take a second to say thank you so much for listening, squad, and for helping this show by liking on YouTube or leaving a 5-star ratings and positive review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show get on the charts and for more people like us to discover it. So thank you again so very much.
And without further ado, on to the fun.
What's going on, guys? Man, we missed a week because we literally forgot that we have a podcast, but we're back and we made it and we're here to start our new one. How you guys doing today?
Been a long week. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been real busy, but we're back.
we're back. All right. Well, today we are going to talk about Phone Booth. It's a 2002 film written by Larry Cohen and directed by Joel Schumacher. It stars Kiefer Sutherland, Colin Farrell, Forrest Whitaker, and our director of photography is, I'm going to mess this up so bad, Matthew Libatique. It's a Zucker Netter production and it's distributed by 20th Century Fox. I'm going to give a spoiler warning as always. And as far as trigger warnings are concerned for the film, it's a very suspenseful film. There is murder in it and there's some gun violence. And it's rated R. So our characters, we've got Stu, who is our main character, played by Colin Farrell. We've got the caller, whose name is never identified, and he's played by Kiefer Sutherland, and that voice. Oh my God, that voice.
He's got a great voice in the movie for sure.
Bro, it was perfect. We've got Captain Ramsey, that is played by Forrest Whitaker, and he did great. To start out, it starts out the film pretty simply, and this is a really short film too. They start out with showing Stu, and he's like a really loud and rude New York City publicist who is, thinking of cheating on his wife, Kelly. So he takes off his wedding ring and he calls Pam, who is played by Katie Holmes. She's a young actress, and he calls her from a phone booth on a side street. The booth is branded. It says Bell Atlantic. And I did a quick Google search. I found out that it was purchased by Verizon, and there's a little Verizon sticker on the glass that shows that. So it was really neat that they kept that all, in a nice little wrap box.
Like, here's where we started. Here's where we're going.
Uh-huh.
And this movie was so long ago that now even what they were showing being obsolete is so far obsolete that you can't find it anymore.
No mas.
Oh yeah. I think there's four phone booths left. And actually this is one of them. The phone booth that was shot to make this film is one of the phone booths left. And they're landmarks. They're just to show where we were. So when he's calling Pam and he's got his wedding ring off, he's spitting himself some game. A pizza man shows up, and the pizza man, tries to give him a pizza that it's already paid for, and Stu very rudely dismisses him. And then he makes a comment and he says, "Give it to a homeless guy down the street and tell him you can turn away from it, but you can't make it go away." I thought that was a really weird statement to say.
Right.
I think it was it was gonna try and be foreshadowing for kind of the plot of the movie, because Stu can totally turn away from it, but he can't get rid of the situation he's in.
Bro, that's deep. All right. I like that. Go off. Look at you. Go with your bad self.
But
So after the phone call with Pam, the phone rings and Stu answers it. The caller, which is the sexy and sultry voice of Kiefer Sutherland, says that Stu should have accepted the pizza as it would have kept his strength up for what comes next. Oof. I got goosebumps just saying that.
I would have taken that pizza.
Like, but no, no, you have to know where the pizza's from, and
Yeah. Yeah.
but like the phone rings and you just pick it up because it's a ringing phone.
Yep. It needs to be answered. I love that quote. It's such a good quote. And in Kiefer Sutherland's voice, it's just so well delivered.
Mhm.
The caller says that he will say hi to Kelly for him and then hangs up, leaving Stu looking flummoxed. You know, he doesn't know what's going on.
It's a little dumbfounded.
Actually, it's funny. We keep talking about Kiefer Sutherland's voice. Roger Jackson was originally cast to be the caller, and due to scheduling conflicts, he wasn't able to do it. Roger Jackson is the one of my favorite cinema voices. He's the voice of Ghostface in the Scream films, and that too would have been an awesome choice for the voice in this film. The unseen man, he calls back and reveals that he had previously set up 2 other dishonest individuals in a similar situation where he had given them a chance to redeem themselves, but they both refused and he had to kill them. One was a pedophile and the other was a business executive who used insider information to cash in his stock options before the company's share price collapsed.
Scary when that stuff happens.
Yeah, those like hit really close to a lot of the headlines that have been cropping up all over the place. Like, oh, look, there's somebody else just leaving the entire company in a lurch.
It had to do with he refused the caller's request to share proceeds with lower investors who got burned on that stock. The caller tells Stu that he must tell Kelly and Pam the truth, that he's cheating. The man calls Pam and puts Stu on speakerphone where Stu can't speak, but he can hear everything.
Yeah.
He tells her Stu is married and does not want anything with Pam except to sleep with her. He then tells Stu to call his wife and tell her the truth, or else he will. Angrily, Stu does so.
Dun dun dun. Before he has a chance to tell Kelly the truth, Stu is distracted by these like 3 escorts who are across the street who want to use the phone. The escorts become hostile due to Stu's refusal to leave the booth, and they start banging up against the glass door. And honestly, I thought they were going to break that thing open. I don't think those things are that strong.
Right. It was intense because you're in this itty bitty space already and they're just in your face.
And those ladies were getting froggy, bro. Like they were looked like they were ready to fight.
Right. Like they're the type of people who just smack you.
That time is their money.
Yep, very much so.
Stu gets agitated and hangs up on his wife and yells at the escorts to, go away, leave him alone. And as the girls leave, the man calls and warns Stu that if he hangs up again, he will shoot him. Stu doesn't believe him, but is convinced when the man cocks his rifle, and Stu gets real scared.
And the sniper says, "Doesn't that just torque your jaws?" I love that. You know, like in the movies, just as the good guy is about to kill the bad guy, he cocks his gun. You know why he doesn't have it cocked? Because that sound is scary. It's cool, isn't it? Oh, it's such a good line.
It's just so suspenseful and so eerie. It's like, oh, we have a real villain here.
This man is enjoying his job.
Stu gets real scared. Like real scared. I mean, I would too, like if I'm on the phone and someone says they're aiming at me and it just cocks that rifle right in my ear. I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah. No,
Bro,
no.
that rifle sounded big too.
Yeah,
Like it
bro.
didn't sound like no little hunt rifle.
It definitely sounded like they muted all the other sounds, so that was the only thing you could hear.
Yeah.
It surprised me too because we see him shoot something else in a minute, but it doesn't sound like a 50 cal or a large rifle or anything because it's just a little dink.
Yeah.
So Stu got real scared, and he's like warning him that if he shoots, cops will swarm this entire block, this entire area. However, the sniper proves him very wrong by shooting a little toy robot that is slowly crawled its way next to the booth, and not a soul notices, like nothing except for the toy vendor, and he comes up to the phone booth and he's like he's talking to Stu, but he's not speaking English. He's actually speaking Swahili, which we found out. Eventually, Stu tries to, he just fumbles out some money and pays the guy for the toy because the guy thinks that he broke the toy,
Right.
which, further proves that nobody cares that it got shot.
It was smart for Stu though, because it got Stu. It saved that guy's life. Stu saved that vendor's life by paying him.
The caller continues to mock Stu's faith and that the caller is not capable of ending the situation right there and now, basically. The situation gets pretty heated and escalates when the escorts and their pimp, Leon, who is played by John Enos III, they approach the booth and demand that Stu leaves, and Leon is not playing around. Like,
He's a big dude.
He's real mad that this man is still on the phone. And he's smacking the box and stuff, trying to get him to come out.
He hits the box hard. You were talking about like the escorts like breaking the box, bro. He like punches the box hard.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm scared for Stu's life right now.
Right. I just see the whole thing tip over.
Thank God those things are bolted.
Or he breaks the glass and like pulls him through it.
Oh my God, that'd be awful. No, I need to stay on the phone. Terrified that Stu will be shot. He's just like, nah, man, this is my phone. The impasse between Stu and Leon escalates to the point of Leon breaking into the booth with a bat. He smashes in one side and it's just completely open now.
Terrifying.
It's a real scary moment. He's like, if you don't get out of that phone right now. He's like, everyone on the street is now watching this, by the way.
Oh,
Like,
man.
the girls are yelling, Leon's yelling, and people are rubberneckers, so they're gonna watch anyway.
Oh my gosh.
I actually have a really fun fact about that. So all of the extras, everybody working in the crowd had no idea what was going to happen. They didn't get copies of the script or anything. These are all actual reactions from people watching these people act out this scene.
Dude, that's so cool.
Just fine. Like, you're just walking down the street like they tell you to, and then out of nowhere, some guy walks up to a phone booth with a bat and smashes it. That'd be great. The sniper starts talking to Stu on the phone. He's like, I can help you. And he's saying it over and over and over again. Do you want me to help you? Do you want me to end this? Can you hear me? And when Stu hears him say, can you hear me? He says yes, but he's being like grabbed and tackled by Leon, who's reaching through the booth and everything. All the sniper heard was yes. So sniper shoots and kills Leon from his vantage point.
Right in the back of the neck too, like right in the sweet spot.
Yeah, and he stated earlier before he shot the toy robot that he's using hollow point rounds so that there's no bullet there's nothing to trace. It's all fragmented.
Dude, there's just chaos now. Like, Leon's in the street just bleeding out. Like, he's dead already, just kind of twitching there. The girls are screaming. I don't know who else is screaming on the street. There's just so much noise going on. And oh boy, here come the police. And Stu is instantly the suspect. All the escorts are pointing at him saying, he's got a gun. He did it. He did it. Now, of course, he's thinking that they're not going to have any evidence on him because I don't have a gun. But then the sniper on the phone tells him that he's planted a gun in the phone booth roof right above the light panel where, it could be used as evidence. And, are you sure you don't have a weapon?
Why don't you reach up there and tell me what you feel?
No, I don't want to. They're going to shoot me. Dude, the intensity of just anxiety throughout this whole movie. It is a wicked roller coaster.
Oh yeah.
And now we see Captain Ed Ramsey, played by Forrest Whitaker. He's trying to negotiate with Stu to get out of the booth. But of course, he's telling him, I can't get off the call, man. I can't get off the call. And the whole time he's trying to think of something to say. So these policemen that have shown up from the four corners of I don't know where because they weren't here, ever.
Right. They just
And he's trying to think of something to convince this man, no, I can't get off the phone. And what's a good excuse to be on the phone? The whole time caller's talking to him and teasing him and like poking at him. Like, no, I'm talking to my psychiatrist. Ooh, that's a good one. I lose it.
now you're having fun. It's like this guy's a maniac.
Yeah, bro, he's a psychopath.
Dude, and I'm getting all sorts of flavors from this voice. I hear a lot of Deathstroke in the way he's talking and
Yep.
like goading him on. I hear a lot of the ghost face.
You know what I hear? I hear a lot of Hannibal.
Ooh, that's a good one. When I first started seeing this movie, I thought he would have played Kiefer Sutherland would have played a really good Ghostface, and it's so funny that like because that's what I always heard. I heard Ghostface voice in this, and it turns out like
When we see him later, I really like the only thing I could pinpoint to him was that he looked very familiar as like an R.L. Stein. And when I said Hannibal earlier too, like he kind of looked like Hannibal in a way with like that slick bag and then that he just
Lost Boys.
I've got two movies that we're gonna do on this podcast because they're huge films and will definitely get views just like The Crow. And one of them is called Young Guns, and it's a cowboy movie that's awesome. And then the other one is called Lost Boys, which is a vampire movie, and it's awesome. So like they're both like super 90s films, but they're great.
Right.
okay, bet.
They're so much fun.
That means we'll have 2 cowboy films on the channel now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I only like 3 cowboy movies, and that's Hateful Eight, Django, and then the Young Guns movies.
Young Guns.
All right, we got super sidetracked. Go ahead, Candy.
That's my job. So now we have news vans. Now we have police. Now we have police snipers. And where did all of these people come from? There are civilians everywhere. The police are literally pushing them back now.
Yeah, because the newsman pulls up and it's in a crowd of people.
Man,
yeah, like they're not getting
it's-
through.
it is not a comfortable situation for anybody out in the open.
People said someone died over here, so New York was like, "Oh,
Bet.
let's go see."
Bet.
It is just noise on noise. Now the sniper on the phone, he's still taunting Stu, of course. Every time Stu thinks he's got a chance to think about something, there goes that voice again,
Man.
needling away. And he's trying to get him to take hold of the planted gun. Okay, now. Pick it up,
Yeah.
or I'll just blow you away. But Stu is again like, no, this police are going to shoot me if I touch anything that looks like a weapon. They will shoot me if I touch my wallet.
Yep. They will shoot me 41 times if I touch my wallet.
And trigger warning here, we're going to touch on a couple things they reference in the next couple minutes. When the sniper is warning Stu not to move, he says, you can get shot 41 times just for pulling out your wallet. And that is a reference to the killing of Amadou. I apologize if I say it wrong. Diallo. The police approached him and he pulled out his wallet, presumably to show them his ID. They probably told him to take out his ID at some point. And, they, using the word lightly here, mistakenly thought it was a gun, and 4 grown ass police officers on the scene fired 41 rounds at him.
My God.
He was shot 19 times and died as a result of his injuries.
Dear God.
And that just,
That's horrible. That's horrible. It's an awful, awful world we live in. Oof.
Now Kelly isn't here. Oh, my anxiety goes straight through the roof because, like, no, 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 no. She needs to be like not anywhere out in the open. And
Yeah.
no, every minute you think you're gonna get a break with this movie, it's like, no, have some more anxiety. Have a
Right.
treat. It just
Just-
keeps adding it on one little coin at a time.
Just scoots you off your seat inch by inch by inch.
These single
Ah.
spot set movies like this or Buried with Ryan Reynolds are always like that. Like when you keep somebody at one singular spot, you have to keep anxiety high or else your viewer base is going to be bored. You know what I mean?
I
Mm,
love Buried.
Keeping that constant anxiety can be intense, man.
yeah, definitely. So now Stu is forced to confess to his wife about his infidelity. He goes into a long thing about, the whole bit. I take off my ring, I call from this phone booth, and I think he talks to Pam a couple times. He introduces them. I thought it was kind of cute. He's like, Kelly, that's Pam. Pam, that's my wife. It's really awkward and it hurts.
It's just so out of place in this scene. Like seeing the crowd of New York, the police, the news, everything. And then this guy in a phone booth that has guns trained on him just confessing about his cheating or I mean his affair.
Yeah.
It's just a lot to take in. And then Stu hears, now you have to choose between Pam and Kelly. I'm going to kill one of them right now to, eliminate any further temptations you might have.
And then he suggests Pam first.
It's so scary, bro. Could you
Dang.
imagine? Because like Pam is a young actor. She's like a young person, and like he may not be in love with her or anything, but even still, like it would just be like stressful and scary, and like you just like choose me, don't shoot them, choose me, like I don't know, that'd
Exactly.
be crazy.
In the meantime, we've got the police trying to tap into the phone line. Captain wants to find out who is he actually talking to. And, Stu's like, not Stu. The sniper tells Stu, yeah, I know they're there. I know they're trying to tap in. They're not going to make it through. I know what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
He's like, I've got like a router going through Kentucky and all the way up to Boise, Idaho and stuff. And you just watch Stu's face like, damn.
So then some official negotiator shows up like 40 minutes late to the game. I don't know where he was because everybody else on the planet showed
Is
up.
already here.
And he's trying to take charge of everything when Captain's already got a rapport going on with Stu. But he's like, no, 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 this is my job. Blah, 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 blah. And aside from being just government hierarchy, I don't know why he thinks he's in charge of anything when everything has already been established and he's just barely getting there.
I'm
Honestly, if the captain's there, I ain't gonna say a word. If captain's there, then captain's there. He outranks me, then he's in charge.
I don't want to just, I really don't want to just like come out and say this, but I feel like it was racist. I was like, why do you just walk up and try to take the reins? Like, what is that?
Right.
Like he barely even asked for a sit rep. Like,
yeah.
My man's is just like, I don't care what's going on, I'm in charge.
Yeah, it was weird, right?
Yeah.
he just came out of nowhere.
And you're the negotiator. You're not in charge of nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's weird. I thought it was weird. Yeah.
Is not a good example of de-escalation in any way, shape, or form.
Because everything I've ever known is that unless it's the federal government, because once the federal government shows up, they've got full jurisdiction. But from what I understand, the first officer on the scene is in charge of the scene based off rank. And so like he was a captain. Like, what are you doing,
Right.
bro?
Right.
So after this, Stu pleads with the sniper, while at the same time using his cell phone to call Kelly, who secretly informs Captain Raimi of the sniper's presence. When Raimi hears the Stu pleads with the sniper while at the same time using his cell phone to call Kelly, who secretly informs Captain Raimi of the sniper's presence when Raimi hears the conversation. Stu confesses his bad character to the crowd, telling his unpaid assistant Adam, played by Keith Nobbs, who looks up to Stu, not to become a publicist, and admitting his $2,000 watch is fake, like himself. Stu explains he grew up in the Bronx and he wanted to put his past behind him by buying expensive clothes. He's also not as rich as he seems. The scene when Stu confesses everything was actually shot on the first take. Colin Farrell got applause from those present right after the scene was shot because it's amazing. According to Kiefer Sutherland, Colin Farrell's tears during the confession scene were real. Farrell, who suffers from chronic insomnia, was not able to sleep the night prior, and he was crying at the mere concept of shooting all day. Luckily for him, he nailed it, though. Like, that sucks. Like, when you're just so tired and you can't do anything but cry. Like, I've been there.
Dude, way to push through it, but the things people put themselves through.
Like, he killed it. He pushed through it. He killed it. I hope he got to go get some sleep.
Right after this shot, he's like, I'm going to do my trailer right now.
Pulling
Oh,
all the light blocking curtains over. Don't bother me.
Yeah,
Yep,
putting a little
yep.
do not disturb thing on my door.
bro, for real, though.
Leave me be.
The police finally track down the sniper by tracing the call the sniper made to Kelly. And Raimi tells Stu through a cryptic message that they have done so. He's like, we found your lawyer. We're gonna bring him down. Stu, we're bringing him down. And Stu informs the sniper that the cops are coming to get him. And it
Why?
was dumb, right? That was
It
dumb.
makes me so mad.
Like, why would
Like-
you do that?
Just keep him talking at that point.
I'm
Yeah, man.
saying.
I'm be
like
like,
the-
yo,
the-
man, is that pizza guy still around? Like, I could use that pizza.
You know, the fuzz was gonna sneak up that hallway and, you know, kick the door open and take him. I don't know why he said anything. It was dumb.
Yeah, my man was probably like, oh, no, they're not. It's gone away.
So when Stu says that, the sniper gets enraged because he's a sniper, and he tells him he's gonna take Kelly with him, seeing as she is the most important thing in his life. Panicked, Stu takes the planted gun and runs out of the booth and yells, "It's me you want! It's me you want! Shoot me!"
For this, there is an important scene, and we see some cops, loading up and moving into positions that are the captain's ordering out. And in one of the scenes, we see a police officer with a shotgun loading silicone rounds or rubber bullets into his shotgun, and he takes position on a fire escape.
Lies.
No,
We don't see
this.
we don't see this.
We totally see it.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
see him loading rubber bullets.
Yep. You see him load in like a 12 gauge shell into like that little slot on the bottom, and it says silicone, and it's a white shell.
Okay. All right. I've never seen that, and I've seen this movie a few times. But all right, I'm gonna believe you.
There's so much going on.
It's a
Yeah.
lot.
It's a very detailed scene, actually. When he like slides in the shell and everything, he clicks a little button, and then he clicks the safety, or he clicks the safety first, and then the little button that you use to actually use the shotgun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So that happens, and Stu's running out saying, "Take me, it's me you want, take me, take me." And then you hear boom, and Stu takes a bullet right in his chest.
He drops so fast.
He does,
Yeah.
man.
Just like Gideon.
He falls down, and just as the police break into the hotel room, they discover a dead body, a phone, and a sniper rifle. The dead body is the gentleman who was trying to deliver the pizza. So it does look like he's the sniper, but I mean, we as moviegoers know that that voice was not that guy.
Yeah.
It is then revealed that Stu had been hit by a rubber bullet from a police sniper, leaving him relatively unharmed.
Just, Tweety birds around his head.
Just oh,
Bro, it would hurt. It would hurt.
ever been winded falling down on your back? Try it on your chest.
Man, you can watch those guys in Jackass do it, man. It's intense.
Oof.
Kelly runs over and kisses Stu, who's still on the ground. The police wheel the body they found in a hotel room down the street, and Kelly insists on seeing the sniper's body. Once they pull back the sheet, Stu identifies the body as the pizza delivery man.
Which he kind of looks at it oddly. He's like, or looks at the body oddly. He's like, no, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Because he heard the pizza delivery guy's voice when he spoke to him outside the booth. You would know. You didn't just spend an hour or however long he's been in that booth, which is probably more than, oh no, actually, fun fact time. Tyler's fun fact number 3. So the fun fact number 3 is this is a real-time film, which means that the length of the movie is the length of time in the character's life. It's a very rare but awesome way to shoot a film. I know another one that's really good. It's a Canadian film. It stars Jay Baruchel, and it also stars Randy Quaid, and it's called Real Time. And it's a 2-hour movie, and it's 2 hours of this dude's life. And that's what Phone Booth is too. It's really, really cool. So I guess
Nice.
so it's an hour and a half. So he's been in this booth for an hour and a half. And
Oof.
you would know that was not that pizza guy's voice. I'm sorry, you would. Like, because you would have thought about that at some point while you're sitting here, because
Yeah.
you're not just thinking about this call. You got a million things on your mind while you're sitting in this booth.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening? Who is this?
Where
is
is
he
she?
in? Where is my man? Is like we get these weird, like stressed out perspectives from Stu while he's looking up in the windows trying to find the sniper. And
Absolutely.
I think it's really cool how it shows how stressed out and how hyper focused he is on trying to locate this guy.
I'm telling you, bro, you zoom in a camera and put that heartbeat sound in, and like
Ooh.
the whole crowd's anxiety is gonna go up.
Yeah.
Stu gets patched up a little bit. He's in the ambulance now, and EMT's giving him some sort of painkiller or something. And everybody is like patting themselves on the back, taking a breath of relief. I don't know where Kelly is. She's probably still talking to the captain or getting debriefed by someone else. And then a man carrying a large suitcase walks up to Stu in the ambulance and says, nice shoes. That voice.
Yep.
We can't see his face. He's all blurry because we're seeing it from Stu's point of view now, and he's all drowsy from the medication. And you can just barely see the outline of Kiefer as he's leaning up against the ambulance. And he says he regrets killing the pizza delivery man, and he's warning Stu that if his newfound honesty with people doesn't last, that he's going to hear from him again.
Man.
I'm good.
Excuse him, what?
I'm sorry, what? But I passed it.
No tugbacks.
Like, Jigsaw is not allowed to come and get you again, not unless you're that one chick. Like, it's not supposed to be
Right.
that way.
This is some Michael Myers stuff. You gonna hunt me down?
Unless you're the apprentice, I'm not a catch and release. Go,
Yes.
we're done. Go away. No. Like, and he just kind of grins and walks away, and Stu passes out. I don't like this last bit because now Mr. Sniper starts walking through the crime scene with what I think is pretty obviously a rifle case.
They didn't try and hide that at all.
No, Annie's walking on the glass, the broken glass from the box, like he's specifically walking on evidence.
But it doesn't
Like-
matter anymore.
It would have
They,
been
thought
roped
they
off.
thought they caught the killer.
It would have been roped off. I guarantee you it would have been roped off.
I don't know, man. They had a chalk outline for Leon too.
They
I
did
never
that.
saw
I
them do
watched
that.
it happen. No, they did that immediately. Like a second that they showed up, they were pulling Leon's body and drawing a chalk circle at the same time. It's like they did it
Yeah.
all in one motion.
Everyone's just, it's like a pit crew just body up.
Get that man's body out the street. No, dude, it was so funny. I'm like, why are we still using chalk outlines? But I guess it wasn't that long ago that we thought that's what we had to do.
It
Yeah.
probably has to help with the investigations. Like if a detective comes in, they can see where the body was and how it fell.
I know that the main reason that chalk outlines used to happen was because if they had to move the body. So you don't always have to move the body right away, but if they had to move the body right away, they would draw that chalk outline so the detective could see what was going on.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now they do like photos and videos and
Yeah,
drawings.
they
and-
take 9 million pictures when they walk into a crime scene now. Like
Yeah.
4 hard drives worth of pictures is one crime scene.
Yeah, they need to make sure every detail is documented somehow, so it's not just in some detective's brain.
Yeah,
Dude.
exactly.
The caller who is now shifted over to a narrator, we just see the screen kind of fade off and up. He says, "Isn't it funny? You hear a phone ring and it could be anybody, but a ringing phone has to be answered, doesn't it? The view goes from an aerial view of the city way into a space with the satellite passing by, turned to a black ring once again. And the film ends with a man answering, 'Hello?' The murderous caller has apparently resumed his crusade to rid the world of wrongdoers."
Yeah, so I really love this movie. It's a movie not a lot of people have seen, but it was a big film, which but there's a lot of people where you ever see Phone Booth and they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's a really fun, if you like anxiety writing films, it's a really fun film. I got a couple of a little more fun facts if y'all are, interested.
Of course.
Drop
The
'em.
F word was said in this movie 143 times.
Oh,
Bro,
There's
those are
an
weak numbers compared to Michael. All right, Michael.
it's cathartic.
Samuel
Yeah.
L. Jackson.
Yeah, well, that's his every third word.
That's
or,
his
you know.
every third word. Script or no script.
So there's an Indian remake of this movie, and it's called Knocked Out, and it was made in 2010, which I kind of want to see. If we can find a sub version, we might just we could definitely maybe try to make a Patreon episode out of it. That could be cool. Also, screenwriter Larry Cohen originally pitched the script or the concept of this film, which takes place entirely within a phone booth, to Alfred Hitchcock in the 1960s. That's right, Alfred Hitchcock. Yes.
Dude.
Hitchcock
Right.
really liked the idea, but he and Cohen were unable to figure out a reason why the guy would stay in the phone booth. So once the idea of the sniper came to Cohen in the late 90s, it took him 30 years to think of
Dude.
a sniper.
Dude. I don't think he thought about it that hard.
I feel like it was always in the back of his mind, and everything he thought of was just no,
Heck
that's
no.
dumb.
It's a
No.
notebook in a closet, and he does some spring cleaning. He's like, "Oh yeah, this. Oh my god."
But once he was able to figure out the sniper part, he was able to write the script in under a month. Which is really
It'd been churning
impressive.
away for a long time, so it was just ready.
He had all the fine details down. He just couldn't figure out that one detail. I will
Dude.
say, this being a one set film, there's not a lot of I don't want to say there's not a lot of great camera shots, because there are, but there are not a lot of super standout artsy camera shots, and I that's my favorite thing to talk about at the end. But I will say they do in the show 24, they do like comic book portion screens to tell other parts of the story at the same time, especially when Stu pulls out his phone and calls Kelly or whatever, they'll pop up little other screens so that you can see multiple scenes at once. And I think that's really cool. You know, it's like a comic book, you know?
I love seeing stuff like that too.
It paints a really cool picture from all the perspectives around you.
It does. It really, really does. Do
Mhm.
either of you have like a favorite shot or like a favorite shot idea or anything like that?
I really like the scene where the sniper is aiming at Kelly and you can see the dot on her, his laser dot. And it, Stu runs out and is like, no, 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 get back, get back. And the captain is just like freaking out, like, what is going on here? And then he notices the laser sight on Kelly and and gets everyone back and settled. Stu has to go and pick up the phone after the captain's like, go ahead, pick it up. And the negotiators is like, what are you doing? We had him out. He was coming out.
He's like, I'm in control of the situation. That's what.
Yeah. Captain is just like, get her in the car, completely disregards what homie says, because yeah, I
100%.
would
Dude.
too. And you know, she's put away in the car, she's nice and safe, hopefully, you know. And Stu goes ahead to pick back up the phone. And in that scene, it's just so intense. Like everything gets kind of slow mode when they're showing the red dot on Kelly, and you're thinking, oh shit, is she gonna get shot?
This is
Oh my
it.
god.
Yeah, it's intense, man.
The way the turn of events happens in this movie, I love it because it makes it so that every single moment could have a new turn.
They do really well with that. And you know, are you aware that most films are not shot in order? So like
Right.
they'll shoot this, usually they shoot like the really big scenes first and then they'll shoot the other scenes. It's never really shot in order, but this film actually was filmed in the order in which it is done.
Okay.
What about you, Kendi?
I was more about the voiceover, the narration from
So
Kiefer
good.
throughout it. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention. I know there was some cute little, who do you think you are billboard in the background.
It's Obey. Oh, I didn't even bring that up. That's actually graffiti. It's Obey. It's in several shots throughout the film, a piece of graffiti is shown tagged on the phone booth. The graffiti is part of the Obey skateboarding clothing brand. This is likely like a fun Easter egg thrown in as one of the main subjects of the film is obedience. But it's really cool that they had that, like that graffiti thing you're talking about is for like a really big skateboarding thing. And you know, I love
That's
skateboarding.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more art that we didn't quite catch because we're listening to the
Yeah.
voice.
There's a
There was
lot
a
going
lot.
on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's very much a listening film, you know, with some things for you to see. So yeah, I agree with that. Overall, I would say that I give this film let's give it a 4.6 out of 5. Could be a little longer for me, honestly.
Honestly, I think I'm around the same. Otherwise, I'd just give it a 5.
Yep.
It's a 4.
Okay.
It could have been, like you said, a little bit longer. I feel like we didn't really get to see. I feel like we could have seen a little bit more from Kelly and Pam's point of view.
I agree.
Yeah.
But they really, really, really kept it on Colin a lot, which I guess was the main point anyways.
Yeah.
Right, to change him. Because Kelly and Pam weren't doing any wrong.
Right. They're just the victims.
Living. Yeah, exactly. I will agree with those points, honestly. I'm glad we all feel the same way. But it was a joy to watch. I would suggest to all of you to go
Roller
and see
coaster.
it. Yeah, if you don't mind an anxiety riding film and you know a little bit of blood, this is a really, really good movie.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah. You know, as I said last time, we got a couple of things coming up. We got Sidetracks, which is a really great podcast that I honestly can't wait to be a fan of. Kendi's going to be talking about fun facts, and she gets really driven down rabbit holes and wants to learn all this stuff. And she's always telling me, I'm like, why don't you make a podcast? So she did it, and check that out. So I know she's working on something with Shirley Temple, and she's probably got some other really great things coming. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And as always, I have been Tyler.
I've been Matt.
I'm Kindy.
And we killed
Killed
it.
it.
We Killin' It podcast is written by us, Tyler Mislick, Kendra Parrish, and Matthew Johnson. Video is shot and edited by Matt, and it is produced and the sound is done by Tyler. Thank you for listening.